to stop evil, knowing the vision. Glad to stop people going to prison. Future, present, and odd past. Super presence on podcasts. Laughing or frown, lasting or drown. Sat on pods like passing the crown. Odd pass, you pick out plain English. Podcast, blue tick, and James English.
Through a lot and came out the other side. Learned a lot about myself along the ride. Now I'm living my best life.
Hey everyone, I'm Neah Inspired. We're back at it today for another episode of my YouTube. Outspoken Words, Inspired Actions. Today, I'm with the amazing, if you introduce yourself, guys, in the left corner.
Oh, yeah, Creeper Crisis. I only did this for Neah. Look, I've doctored this.
Jeez.
So no one go online trying to search for this. This don't exist. This don't exist.
That's a whole vibe.
Yeah, but I did it for you, Neah. Come on.
Thank you.
Come
I
on.
appreciate you.
I got you for life, man.
Oh, likewise, man.
Yeah.
I love that. Love you.
Oh, I feel like this little loving. I love it.
What's your name? Where'd you come from?
All right, Scylla.
I feel like Scylla.
yeah.
Come on down.
Ash Peds, Ashley Peddy, so excited to be here
Oh.
with you. I'm really, really excited. This, you can get anywhere because this is just from Primark, probably. So, yeah.
Big
I
up
love
Ash,
it.
man.
Thank you for coming, guys. Do you know, I've been really looking forward to this episode because I've done a Passing the Crown, done a podcast with Ash. So have you?
I done one as well.
Haven't
yeah,
you?
Yeah.
And I reckon, what do you think? I reckon those are our best ones.
I think we had the best two interviews.
Yeah,
in my
absolutely.
opinion.
Yeah.
No disrespect to anyone else on the
Yeah,
platform, but we
I definitely do.
Yeah.
To me, it's really important that anyone that comes on Passing the Crown feels like it's their best one that they've ever done.
100%.
Oh, I love
And that's
that,
so
you know.
important. And for each guest that I've had, to hear them pretty much all say that as well is like a
Oh,
big thing. Yeah.
sick.
No,
I love that.
You literally, had me going to the part, in the archives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real, really, like,
And
honestly.
in a comfortable way, like some people you could sit down with and have the conversation and you feel uncomfortable
Yes.
expressing certain things and going into the past.
Yes.
But I was comfortable
Definitely, same.
Yeah.
And that's why I thought that it's only right.
to bring us all back together.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
like Blazing Squad,
I know,
aren't we?
I know.
Not Blazing Squad.
Blazing Squad. Blazing, I've been called worse, darling.
N-dubs, not
N-dubs.
Blazing Squad.
N-dubs,
N-dubs.
What's that?
I'm
Show
claiming
me my
Dappy.
age.
Remember, I'm claiming Dappy. No. Big up Dappy.
Yes, and also I'm not gonna lie, guys. I don't know if you agree, but that little colour scheme on us, vibes.
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah,
think?
Neah,
The tan.
I only did this for you. I promise you.
No, I wasn't talking about today, but this is a vibe.
Oh, yeah.
I was talking about Ashes, the little
Oh,
tan
yeah,
and the black.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh,
Slay.
yeah.
That, to me,
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah.
like that,
We
yeah.
slayed.
That studio's.
That's a
I
colour
followed your
scheme.
lead,
Yeah, and do you know
I
what? I
followed
never
your
even
lead.
got a memo.
Oh, you never?
Nah. Did I?
No, she didn't.
No.
She only let her wear what she wanted to wear.
Soon as I saw, I was like, I'm following
Yeah.
Neah's lead, 100%.
Vibe, weren't
You had
it?
to copy you.
We love it, though. We love it. Anyway, thanks for coming today, guys. Love it. Always a pleasure. Mm-hmm. We know this. We love it. Today, I want to do something a bit different because obviously I've done, like we said, I've done the Passing the Crown with you, which is amazing. So have you, Anton?
And I've done a sit down with you.
Yes, and you've
Yeah.
done the sit down with me.
Yeah.
Also, don't know if you know, you should know if you're watching this episode, the intro to this, my YouTube, my episodes, the backing track is actually by Creeper Crisis, Bella B, Jigs Instrumental.
Jigs
Tell 'em.
Instrumental, yeah. Bella B, big up Bella B, Jigs Instrumental, Neah's Story.
Yes.
And we big up Passing the Crown on
Volume
there,
3.
Ash and that as well.
And we big
Yeah.
up Ash
Yeah,
Passing
come
the
on, we
Crown.
had to, yeah.
So I thought,
My
we
first
need to create another movement here,
Yeah,
honeys.
yeah, 100%.
absolutely.
So here we are today. So I'm buzzing for it. Because we've done the episodes about ourselves with
Yeah.
you, Ash. You know, during the conversations you've touched on stuff about yourself, but only touched on because obviously it's mainly about
the
it's
guest.
been mainly about our kind of
Yes.
stories, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So I thought that'd be good today for us to kind of have a different, come in kind of your position like you have with us a bit
Yeah.
more, and to kind of hear a little bit more about some things that. Tell us all your dirt, darling.
So me and Neah were having a bit of a chat on the
Oh,
drive
God, we
here.
was.
right?
We was.
yeah.
He's going to have to pay me for his
yeah.
silence on the way back. The gems he drops.
He's going to have to sign an NDA, honestly. But no, so it's for me, and I think we touched on this, I'm very, very cautious and I'm selective of what I share online.
Straight,
It's
yeah.
really, really important to me that I use social media correctly.
Yeah. Yes.
And so
You've told me about that a few
Yeah.
times, had a few
Yeah.
chats about that. Because without that, I didn't really know about it.
You'll post everything, won't you? You'll post
Yeah.
everything and every little thing.
Yeah.
And I did that initially. It's something that I did initially until I learned, actually, these people ain't all your mates.
Yeah.
No.
And also, it's like, it's your mark, you know, like you've said to me, you said, you know, it's you're not thinking about it when you're just posting it or you're doing this, but you are marketing yourself.
Yeah.
100%.
You know?
Yeah. You got to be careful of the content that you put out to the world.
Yeah.
You have to be, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So
But
I
we're
think
here for all the dirt anyway today.
Oh,
darling.
you'll
We're
get
here
it
for the
all.
tea.
You get it all. You get it all. But no, so not many people know my story because I don't really share it on social media. People have seen me come out of nowhere, do what every person our age has done and suddenly get a podcast.
Yeah.
And people have just seen that. And I am always talking about the guests, and the guests are so important to me. So to be able to share my story now is like fantastic. And I
Is
think
this like your first interview? Like someone interviewing you?
I know,
With us.
Only for Neah.
Only
Yes.
for Neah.
What a
Only for
vibe.
Neah.
What a
Yeah,
vibe.
love that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So
Appreciate you.
it's great and it's exciting, but there are stuff that I think that are really important to touch on.
Yeah.
And I think one of the biggest things that I advocate now for is toxic relationships. And what I mean by that is toxic relationships within family.
Family,
Yeah.
Yeah, family. So a little bit about me is that I grew up to a single-ish mother. When I say single-ish, she'll tell everyone she was a single mom.
She was mingling.
But no, we had a stepdad. Like, we
okay.
had a stepdad for at least for the first 12 to 13 years of my life. We had the same stepdad, and then she moved on and married somebody else. But you know,
I
predominantly
remember you
raised,
briefly touched on this in my interview.
yeah, predominantly raised by just my mom. Really, I've got 3 other siblings, 2 older brothers and a younger sister, and I have always been like my mom's biggest cheerleader. I'd always been the person that's like, you know, I thought she was my best friend growing up. Then you get into an adult life, you start to go your own way and you start to do your own things. And what I found is the person that I thought was my biggest cheerleader actually wasn't. And she was probably the... I don't want to say hater, because hater kind of makes it sound a little bit petty, but she wasn't as there for me as I thought that she was.
You know, like if I worked in KFC and then like I'm building a rapport with people I work with, but then I'm asking them to turn up to my baby shower and then they don't come, and then I've gone back to work, and then there's that breakdown within the relationship.
Yeah.
With your mum, like, because it's expected by default as your mum to be a certain way.
Yeah.
Where was the breakdown? At what moment did you realize, like, oh, this is one-sided?
Oh, pal, it took me 35 years.
Yeah.
35 years it took
I
me.
think
you know
the
how
reason.
go on,
sorry,
sorry.
I think the reason with that can happen so for so long in their relationships is because you know, like you said, you know, you use your mum's biggest fat. You know, you would have obviously she's your mum.
Yeah.
But I think that even if one, because you don't have the life experience or the understanding to know that maybe this is toxic or this is not kind of normal, because your normal's your normal. Even if it's not normal, that's because, you know, you adapt to your kind of circumstances, and that's normal. And I think that's why these kind of toxic, you know, narcissistic in ways, relationships with family can go through such longevity before. One, because you put up with it because you're family, and 2, because when it's all you know, it's like, well, that's just how my family is.
Yeah.
Or that's just, you know.
Yeah, and I think because we didn't have much growing up, we were so close that we thought that was normal. You know, that was normal. We spoke about it, didn't we? Where you were the same, where you think...
You normalize it.
Yeah.
Because you think everyone in your area is in the same circumstance. So you just think this is normal.
And we definitely grew up with parents who we would never answer back to because this might scare this generation now, but we would get lamped.
100%.
We would get
100%.
Your mama going jail today.
Absolutely. You try hitting your child now.
Yeah, it's different. Times are different. Yeah.
But so we had that respect there.
Yeah.
There was that respect that was always there. But then I remember, you know, after therapy that I've had now, when you are the thing that my therapist said to me is go back as far as you can remember. And I went back to like one of my first days at nursery school.
Yeah.
And she said, usually people go back to when they're 16. That's as far back as they can remember. So I was like, oh, I can remember everything. And I can remember absolutely everything about school and about I reeled off a list of like 15 schoolmates from my infant school. And it was the biggest, craziest thing that my therapist said to me was, I'll tell you why you've done that.
Yeah.
She said, because for you, school was a saviour.
Yeah.
Rather than being at home.
Yeah, I've looked into. I've actually know some of the psychology about that, and they say that you know that because that was your safety.
Yeah.
But then there'll be so much that like you could go 30 years of stuff that's can be so, have such a presence in your life.
Yeah.
But your brain, it's like something about your brain purposely doesn't remember them things.
Yeah.
It's like a psychological thing. You'll remember pointless information.
Yeah.
As a in all your brain kind of does that knows that that's a healthy memory for you or whatever, so it blocks out other stuff.
And it must be difficult for you because like I got a few uncles, so if I fall out at 1 or 2, I have 3 and 4. Do you know what I mean? I got a few siblings. I fall out 1 or 2 brothers. I have we only have one mum. So how difficult was it for you to accept that this ain't a relationship for me?
It took me, as I say, 35 years, but when I finally, for at least, I'd say 20 of those years, I was completely oblivious to it. Like, completely oblivious. Anything good, I'd go to my mum. Anything bad, I'd go to my mum. Any gossip, anything, like, I'd speak to my mum daily, right, for 20 years almost. It wasn't until I moved away, started, doing things for myself.
Finding your identity,
that I started to have those kind of feelings of anxiety of talking to my mum.
Can I ask you a question? It's even removing yourself from your mum. Did you ever compare how other people's mums treated them? And
I've done that.
See, no, and I'll tell you why. I didn't, because where I grew up, right, all mums were the same.
Same, my gosh,
all mums were the
okay,
same.
They're all nuts.
They were all the same.
Crackers, like,
so I never ever did. The only thing that I didn't, that never sat right with me was when I had like a friend, Jenny.
Shout out Jenny from the blog.
No, not that one. No. This is that Jenny. There was two Jennys. There was two Jennys. Yeah, Jenny Dalton.
You only usually get
so
one.
Jenny, the big Jenny.
The big Jenny.
Government's
was like,
that.
yeah. Was
no NDA on that one.
She used to swear at her parents, right? And it used to like make me go like, oh, when you're around the house.
Yeah, because in your household,
I
how that
couldn't
would have
even
gone.
swear in my household, let alone at my parents.
I saw something the other day. You must have been through this, right? And it's like when you're a kid, when you're younger, and you're around someone's house, and they start arguing with their parents, and then they go, "You and your mate can fuck off and all." And you're like, "Oh."
You're just sitting there uncomfortable. You're uncomfortable.
Like, shall I go there? Like, fuck them.
Yeah.
We didn't have a swear jar. We'll be stealing money from it.
Yeah, true.
You can't control that environment. We're in a swear jar. We're just gonna see money piling up and not touch it.
What's this piggyback for?
You know what I mean? We're stealing that. And it's
you know what I mean? Bitch.
You know what I mean? And it's in a see-through jar. It's a clear jar. It's like, no, we're taking that.
Yeah, so draw out.
Because you know why I asked that question? Because example, like I didn't have a good relationship with my dad, but it's not about me. When I saw how my friends' dads were, I'm like, oh wow, that's what a real man is. So I just wanted to know if you had anyone's mum around you where you saw that they had that.
No, I didn't. And I think
Okay.
it's because we were all every mother in our street was just trying to survive, like just trying to get by.
Yeah, for real.
And
So you would never judge or even look at other people's circumstances, do you, in situations like that? Because everyone's kind of doing it in their own way, just to do.
Because everyone's like, if I went to somebody else's house down the street and goes, oh, I'm really hungry, they give us a sandwich to do something for us and stuff, and my mum would do the same, like for that. So I never compared my mom to another person's mom. But what I did do is when I took myself away from her, and this has only been the past year or two, when I took myself away from her, I started to compare how people had it better than I had it, and that was a bit of a tough one, because there were like revelations that I'd go, what I thought was normal was actually really not good.
So Ash, I will say this to you, yeah, not the Ash now, because definitely confident. You know what I mean? You're outspoken. What would the inner child Ash say to your mum back then?
I used to always want my mum to like me. And I remember now, I think about it now and I think, I always wanted my mum to like me, which was why I was always like, she could never do anything wrong.
Yeah.
Because if
You're the one trying to not do wrong.
Because it's my mum and I want her to like me and I don't want her to have this, because she had this nasty streak where I believe that any parent, listen, hit your kid, that's fine. Like, smack your kid, knock them out. No. But like, smack your kid and stuff, and that's fine. But I believe when you
Disclaimer: we don't agree.
Yeah, but when you start to verbally abuse your child and pick up on a vulnerability and an insecurity at like a young age, right? Mine was always my teeth, because I had really bad teeth and I was a little bit overweight.
Look how you've upgraded now. Look at that smile. Look at that smile.
Look at
that smile. You know what I mean?
Thanks. I just one day woke up and these were here.
I won't go like this.
Yeah, but so my mum would go to that. She'd start talking about my teeth or my weight, and
she produced you though.
Yeah,
darling.
absolutely. Ironically, my mum hasn't got the best teeth, but and it would always be this it would pick up on my insecurities. That she would know were my insecurities that I would potentially get bullied by other kids for. Yeah. So she would jump on the bandwagon of that. And I look back at that and I go, that's horrible.
Dark,
that's really dark. When you're like a 6, 7-year-old and you're already like at school, like the bigger one, the like feminine one, and all of this. Yeah. You're already, and then your mum is throwing that at you as well when she gets annoyed with you.
You have to come home to that.
Yeah,
as well.
Absolutely. And I think that was the biggest part for me when I look back. Is I always go, God, I could never speak to my kid like that.
Yeah.
Like, why would you speak to your child, the person that loves you the most in the world? And you see it. You see me wanting to do everything with my mum, wanting to go and sit in the kitchen when my mum's talking to the neighbours and stuff, and wanting to be around them. And my mum would always say, he's the closest one to me. He's on about me. He's the closest one. Yet you treated me like that.
So was she different then towards you, like when there's people around?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, really?
Because I had such a big personality, and you guys both know me, like, comedy is everything for me. Like, I
never noticed, darling.
I mean, I'm a bit morbid, didn't I? But like, comedy is everything to me, and I love to make people laugh. I love to make people smile. Yeah. And my mum, I do it with my mum's friends, and they'd love it. They'd always want to be like, "Where's Ashley? Where's Ashley?" Right. So my mum would be like, "He's here." Like, do you know what I mean? And so she always would.
Was there a bit of jealousy there?
Now, as an adult, I see that there was. As an adult, I see that there was. Yeah.
Was your siblings exempt from that sort of treatment, like in the sense of
absolutely. Like, I have two older brothers who were like,
so you were singled out?
Yeah, both my older brothers were like wicked at football. They loved football. They had all these friends and whatever else. And it's not to say I didn't have friends, but like
you was different.
It was very different. And my sister was also randomly into football, like, and she was doing her own thing, and she had a dad, and so like her dad would spoil her rotten. And so it was kind of
different parents. So you was all kind of put in your own boxes.
It was just me there.
How was the relationship with your mum and your dad? Because do you feel this? Because I'm just...
Yeah. I know what you're onto here. I was going to say this something similar.
Do you know what I mean, Neah?
Yeah.
Do you think you got the brunt of their relationship?
Yeah.
So I never... my dad left when I was 6 months old. So no, that's fine. It's absolutely fine. He left. Both my brothers and myself got the same dad.
Right.
So they had a little bit longer with him. But he left when I was 6 months old, so I never.
So you had nothing to compare it to.
Nothing,
right.
nothing.
And then you've never seen him ever.
Oh, I've seen him.
Oh,
Absolutely. And we just don't have a relationship because to me that could just be some man.
Too much time has passed.
He never wanted anything to do with us.
I think we forget that they're human before they are parents, because like we title them that. Yeah. You've got to earn that title. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You're my mum, but you've got to earn that title.
For real,
You're my dad, but you've got to earn that title.
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing that I've taken away from all of it is when you tell somebody that you've cut your mum off and that you have no relationship with your mum, that person will look at you and say, you've only got one mum, but it's your mum.
I know.
It's your mum.
Yeah.
And I have become so like numb to people saying that now to me when they go, yeah, but it's your mum. But I don't care. To me, my mum could be, and she's not, and I will say this, she could be a child molester, she could be a serial killer, she could be all of this stuff. Not one person would ever say to me there, but that's your mum. Yeah. You've only got one mum. Yeah. So what makes it okay? At what point...
They've not lived to know the damage that had on you growing up and into your adult life.
Yeah, at what point do you say, Actually, yeah, that was a lot, Ashley. So you are right to cut her off.
Yeah.
Would it be better if she molested me?
And,
Do you know what I mean?
And to be fair, no respect to your mum, but it's her duty to make amends with you. You know what I mean? 'Cause you didn't ask to be
It will
here.
never happen.
Exactly.
Yeah, because you didn't ask to be here.
For real.
Do you see what I mean? It wasn't,
real.
You know what I mean?
For
You didn't
real.
ask to be here.
Yeah.
It's like if I've gone to a job interview and then I'm acting up on the job,
It's your fault. Yeah.
But if I'm drafted to the war
Yeah.
and I'm moaning, I didn't ask to be there.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah,
see what
yeah.
I mean? I didn't ask to be there.
1,000,000%.
So you didn't ask
Yeah.
to be here. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's always a parent's
Yeah.
duty to make the amends.
And
in my
they're the
opinion.
parents, so that
And
ultimately
you're
they're
the
the more
parent.
authoritative, regardless of your age, they're the more
100%.
authoritative role in that relationship because whether you're grown or not, you're still their child. You know,
Yeah,
you're
because
still
as
there.
you age, they age.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I have to put this disclaimer out. Parents, please, just remember, the same child that you baby and you nurture, you're going to get to an age where you're going to be
You're
reliant on
going to
that
be
child.
needing them to do it for you.
We'll be wiping your bums.
Yeah.
It'll be the other way around.
Yeah.
So just remember how
you treat them.
Yeah. Be careful of the asses you kick on the way up because they'll be the same
Same ones
asses
that-
you have to kiss on the way down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Trust me,
louder.
Yeah.
So true.
I think it's just really important to put that out there, isn't it? And I think that like I grew up always being made to feel, should I say, that I should respect the fact and be appreciative of
Just
the fact
having-
that I'm
yeah.
here.
Oh,
And
don't,
do
yeah,
you know what I
for
mean?
you.
Like, I know my mum was always like, I did this for you, and I went without for you, and I did this.
That's your duty.
That's your duty.
Yeah.
You know what?
That's where it gets confused.
You know what? If you walk up to a homeless man, you step out your trainers, you walk home with your socks, you get ratings. You wasn't expected to do that.
Yeah.
But you see, when you're raising a child, you can't take credit for that.
Yeah,
That's your job.
exactly, yeah.
That's your job.
But then
I
even if
fed
you've
you.
done that, you can't get home and you've got blisters on your feet and they're
mate.
freezing cold and be fuming with a homeless
No,
man.
you can't. You can't.
gave him your shoes.
Same as you brought me here, so
Yeah.
do your job.
Yeah.
I just don't think that, unfortunately, I don't think my mum was very maternal. And I don't think, and bearing in mind, she had 4 kids under the age of 10 before she was 30. So that's that's massive, isn't it? That's like a huge,
So
huge
did my
thing.
mum, yeah.
And I don't think she was ever maternal. I think
Yeah.
she always saw it as, that's what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
I've come from there, like I'm supposed to have kids,
Yeah.
supposed to meet someone, have kids. And I think, unfortunately, what happened then is it didn't go to the way she wanted it to go. She didn't have these 4 kids that were always like, thank you so much for being there. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
keeping me alive. Thank you so much for my shoes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for my...
Yeah.
Like, she never had that. And then as we all grew...
They can resent you.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I felt the resentment come through from her. Like, the older I got, the more the resentment come through. Because as a kid, I thought it was normal for my mom to criticize every single thing. And my siblings won't mind me saying this, out of the 4 of us, I'm the most intelligent, I'm the most academic, I'm the most outgoing.
Right.
So I've always been the one that I did well at school, got the best GCSEs out of the 4 of us, and always
Why
done
do you
that.
think that is then? If you was the one that...
That was always put down.
Yeah, when
But I couldn't do
ultimately you
anything
was the
right,
one
yeah.
shining the most. Do you
Yeah.
think that's a kind of a, like you said,
Jealousy.
like a jealousy
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
or you was just like excelling the others, and maybe
wouldn't-
she
I
had,
always-
but like loved them more? Or not, I don't even want to
No,
say
and
that. 'cause
I don't
even-
think that was a thing.
don't
I
think I'm
don't
in my right to
she,
say that,
No, I
but-
don't think she loved them more than she loved me. But I think that she had this side of her where she used to say, he's so much like me, Ashley's so much like me, but then I've done everything that she couldn't do and didn't do.
Right.
And that's sad because I
Yeah.
championed her like she could.
Yeah.
Don't punch me in my face with this question, yeah?
Okay.
Hold him back. Hold
Don't
him
start
back.
saying things like, people already think I'm violent.
Yeah, no, don't punch me in my
Well,
face, Ash.
Don't.
Disclaimer.
Neah,
Don't do it, Neah.
Let me go this side of my face. We wish your mum more life. Always.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
If something was to happen to your mum tomorrow and she was sick on the hospital bed, would you go and what would you say?
Listen,
Wow. Powerful.
this is hard for me to say because I know that people will hear this
Yeah.
and be like, how can you say that?
Yeah.
But the truth
This is
is,
deep.
and I really don't want it to happen, you know,
Of
Yeah,
course.
if my
God
mum,
forbid,
Of
God forbid. We're
course,
touching wood
yeah.
now. We're
Yeah.
recording in the studio with wood in
if
front of
my mum passed away tomorrow, would I be able to look in the mirror and say, I have done everything that I could to keep our relationship? Yeah, I could.
Wow.
And that takes away that sense of guilt, because if
Yeah.
I didn't feel like that, I'd be on the phone to her. Of
course you
I'd
would.
be calling her. I'd be trying
be
to mend
sad,
our
you'd be-
relationship.
You've done
Yeah.
your part.
Yeah, and I've done that. And that's hard to say, and it's hard to hear. And I know that's hard for people to hear.
Yeah.
And I know that there'll be people in my family that listen to this and go, that's really hard because that's your mum.
Yeah.
But the truth is, you're right, that's my mum.
Yeah,
I'm her son.
exactly. Look at
Yeah,
the flip
yeah,
the
yeah,
coin
yeah,
on
yeah,
that.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
my mum,
That's
but I'm
my
her
mum.
son.
Yeah, that's
And
my
that-
mum.
Yeah,
And I think we, so when we stopped talking, it was a big argument that escalated into something really deep. And I got to the point where I finally said to her, I can't do this anymore. I just can't do this. And I actually said to her, I need some time. I will come back to you. I'll contact you. But right now I need some time. And I haven't spoken to her since.
Really?
Because that time then turned into me healing.
yeah, and
And-
seeing things and
Yeah,
understanding
and
how better off you
understanding
kind
it.
of
And
was, maybe.
During this time, I've had people tell me, she cries on the phone to me every night how much she misses you and how much this is hurting you. And I said, that's funny because your phones have been ringing a lot more than mine have.
Oh, damn, Ash.
How
because
does that
she
make
hasn't
you
called me
feel when
once.
people have said that to you, that she's crying on the phone all the time, missing you? Honestly, how did
Didn't
that
affect
make
me because
No.
if I miss somebody that I love and I care about and I know I've done something
They're
wrong.
gonna know.
Oh, she's got access to you
Yeah.
as well.
Oh, absolutely. She could call me. She could, anything. Write me a letter. Do anything.
Yeah.
But to
Pride,
tell
I
other
think.
people, do you know what that tells me?
Yeah, it's all a front.
You think you're a victim.
Right.
You think you're a victim in this.
Right, yeah,
And
see.
you want to be.
Yeah.
Please feel sorry for me. My son doesn't talk to me and I don't know what I've done.
Yeah.
Well, two things are wrong there. You do know what you've done and you are the reason that I don't talk to you.
Did you make it clear when this had kind of happened and you've said, I need to think about this and I need some time? Did you have the conversation in terms of like lining out some points as to why you can't do this and why you need some space to figure it out? Or was it just
Great
like,
question, yeah.
In that moment, I didn't. In that moment, I didn't because she was shouting and screaming, and then I lost my patience, started shouting and screaming, and I didn't, and I just kind of left it at that. She did try to call me back literally seconds after I hung up the phone, and I did answer, but she shouted at me again, and I said, I'm just not doing this. Listen, let's just leave it here and stop. So then I started having therapy.
Yeah.
Because I was just in a dark place, and I kept thinking, I can't do this.
You
I
realise
can't
a lot of
do
stuff
this,
through
yeah.
therapy that you never
And
thought.
I got to this point where I went, I need to end this now. As in, my life needs to end because I can't take this. Because
Wow.
I'd got in such a dark place. And it was this time last year, I was in a dark place. But this time the year before was when I was like, this is it for me. Like, I can't do this. But luckily I was having therapy. And my therapist said, why don't you write her a letter? So I wrote her a letter and I pinned out all of these things that I'd ever
Right.
felt and I'd ever thought. And all I kept thinking is, please don't write back to me. I don't need you to write back
just
to me
needed
because
closure.
I know
Yeah.
what the context of the letter will be.
Yeah.
You did this, you did this, you did this, you did this.
Because at some point, you and I had a bond. What version of your mum, if that version showed up, would you forgive?
I would forgive the version of my mom that was real and honest. But I don't know whether I've ever met that version of my mom.
Do you feel that maybe that there's not a version of her like that exists and it was just one you created?
I think it's one I created.
Wow.
Wow, Neah. Wow.
Do.
Yeah,
And I
we do
think
that a lot.
we do.
We do.
Yeah,
To make excuses for people, to let things slide based on, love or, just the fact that.
Titles.
Yeah.
I wanted her to be the version that I'd created in my head.
Yeah.
Which was this strong, independent female, like lioness, mama bear, that was like, my kids are everything, and there were elements of her that did do that, but I remember now, and I look back now, and I think there are elements that were for show that you did
Yeah.
that.
You're good at, I know because we've spoken before, you're good at movies and songs. What song reminds you of your mum and what movie reminds you of your mum? Because sometimes I watch things and I'm like, oh, damn, that kind of reminds me of mum, or that reminds me of, a movie.
How does that make you feel?
Me, it's more with my dad, because me and Ash spoke
Yeah.
about this. Like, me and my mum, we have a cool relationship. It's more with my dad. So certain movies I see, and I'm like, that reminds me of him. I can see certain traits in that character in him. Certain songs, I'm like, oh, So I was thinking, what?
I wouldn't say there's anything that reminds me of my mum as in a characteristic wise. I think I look back and I have some great memories of like watching.
You know why I asked that? Because you know, like, not saying your mum's this bad. You know, like you watch like Matilda. You know, like you see like
Not Miss Trunchbull.
yeah, you know, you see like Matilda. You think, whoa, mum was like that
Yeah,
sort of thing.
yeah.
Yeah, but not that bad, not at that extreme.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's anything that will go, oh, that reminds me of my mum, because I
Yeah.
think that my mum is, and I will say these words, I think my mum is a narcissist.
Yeah.
And I think, unfortunately, with a narcissist, they are their own superhero.
Yeah.
And they are this, and my mum's this version that she, in her head, truly believes that she was the best mother. She is the best person. She's the best role model. I could say to you, tell me one of your faults and your flaws. What would you say to me?
Me, one of my faults and my flaws is my teeth ain't as white as yours. I know that much. I know that much.
I'm always on time.
You know. That's a
All
joke.
right,
isn't it?
Ashanti
My
over
biggest
there.
strength.
Come on, dear.
Yeah.
Come on, yeah. But I'm open to admit these things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I get what you mean.
So I'd say to my mum, what's your biggest fault and your biggest flaw? My mum would turn around to me and say,
You. No, I'm joking.
imagine. She'd probably,
Sorry.
she'd say to me, I'm just too nice to people. Like,
Sorry.
I
No,
would-
she's got no
can you see what I
behaviour.
mean? Like, she'd go,
Sorry, I feel terrible saying that.
I'm too nice to people and I give people too many chances and they just, look, no, what is your biggest
You.
fault?
Yeah.
Don't turn this into something that makes you, once again, look like this victim. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
And I think that's where I come from with an angle of it. I have to always be prepared that I know when I start to feel like, oh, I miss my mum, which now isn't very often.
Right.
That's the truth. I don't, because I don't need the stress. But when
Yeah.
I do sometimes think about it, I have to think, what would she say to me right now? And then I go, fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel that? I don't know, because we've not kind of obviously this is the first time we've done anything a bit personal about you. But how was it with your sexuality? Do you think it may have had, like, as you coming out of
No, I
being
think
gay,
she-
have any impact on your
She loved
relationship
that.
with your? Did
She loved it because it was something that she could also use to be like, I've got a gay son.
Right.
Like, oh my god,
Attention.
yeah, I've got a gay son,
Right,
and he's
right.
so funny, and he's and she used to always say, I would never have him as normal. I'd never have him, and I'm like,
She's looking at her like,
I'm
what?
hearing which part of me is not well. You know, the gay part is normal. The rest of me that ain't normal. But like, but it was these things where I knew that anything that made me a little bit more interesting, she would cling on to and use to make herself more interesting.
I was even that. So going back to what you said about moments, would there be any moment, whether it's wedding, marriage, whatever?
No.
Never
No.
want to.
Wow.
No, I don't know.
Because is it the fear of putting a downer on your...
No. Yeah, I have seen how that woman. See, this is now where I get really annoyed. Not at you, but
No, just in general, yeah.
See, now we're gonna fight. No, this is the point. I have seen how that woman has turned me and my siblings against each other and played us off against each other. I have seen how she has played her grandchildren off against each other. I have seen the things that any mother, whether that be mother or grandmother, should not do.
Yeah.
And I have seen that happen. And I always think, I have seen you sit at my brother's wedding and cry and sit there because, they've not included me in the picture, and then she doesn't want me to go to the dress fitting with her because she wants her mum to go. Yeah, because that's her mum. That's the bride's mum.
that's the
That's
bride's
why.
mum, yeah.
And I've seen these elements of her where I think you ain't coming into my life and the happiest
With that
moments in my
energy, yeah.
life and making them about you.
Yeah.
You are never going to have that again that you have done to me time and time again.
Did your mum indirectly have an input on your podcast name? The
No,
fact
God,
that she
no.
never
Absolutely
passed the
not.
crown.
No, absolutely not.
No.
Nothing.
You don't
She
want to
ain't
give her no
getting
credit. I
she's
don't
not
want to
getting
give her no credit.
nothing.
I was like,
She's
she
not
ain't
getting
no
credit for
credit.
anything.
Absolutely
I was like, I
not.
come up with that inventively. She
It was
ain't getting
me.
no
It
credit.
was
I got the
me.
crown.
It was me.
No one passed it
Yeah,
to me.
absolutely.
No, because I thought like
worked
her
for
not
that.
passing you the crown, you
No,
could.
absolutely not.
Fair enough.
No, she'd love that.
Sorry,
So
Mum,
no,
no
don't put that out
credit.
there.
Sorry.
She'd love that. Don't put that
I
out
know.
there.
Disclaimer.
You upset him now.
She'd go, yeah,
Yeah.
he's even named his podcast after me. And I'm like, no, absolutely not. That's just not how it is. I'm in a stage in my life now, guys, where I've never been more secure about who I am.
Oh, we love
Yeah,
that.
come on.
And
We love that.
Come on.
and what I will say is,
You seem like you got good energy around you as well.
Thanks.
Like,
Thank you.
and even the people around you. I feel like you've
Absolutely.
selected who's
Oh,
around you now.
Listen, me and Neah were talking about this earlier about social media, and we were saying like there are elements of my life that people who know me outside of social media go, I cannot believe that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did not, because they would expect it to be on social media.
Oh,
I always say
right,
this,
right.
people don't know whether I'm married, whether I've got kids,
Yeah.
where I actually really live.
Yeah,
People don't
yeah.
know any, and yet I'm so active on social media.
And that's what I said. I said, what I've learned through trial and error and, advice from people that I know that I've got relationships with that respects me and don't say it for kind of any kind of selfish gain or anything. I've learned you just listen, never accept, never deny, just let everyone guess, just like, and just
You can't, everyone's going to talk because it's free
Regardless.
Wi-Fi. It's free
Do
Wi-Fi.
you know?
Yeah, if it costs to talk, a lot of people would be silent.
Yes, for sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure. I've been very silent today, darling, when my data run out.
If it costs everyone data to talk, everyone will be silent. But
It's
if it's free
true.
Wi-Fi, everyone is, it's everyone talks. It's whether you choose to listen or not.
Yeah.
It's whether you choose to listen or not.
And I'm really, really good. I've learned off a few good people about social media, and I've learned some really good tricks as well. And
Teach me.
I'll teach you some. I've learned some really good tricks, and Neah said to me earlier, she was like, "How the hell have you been in a relationship for so long?" And she said, "No, we'll just never." And she said, "I just never
long has it
really."
been?
It's been long. I'll tell you off camera.
Yeah.
It's been long.
Okay.
And I went, what?
And
Just in case
she
you get it
said-
wrong, imagine you said it wrong.
No, and so I said, "Do you know what it
He's putting you on
is?
the
It's
spot.
because I know. It's because I choose to demonstrate that in a way that people will make up their own stories about it, and I'm fine with that.
You know, if you give everyone everything, what
Yeah.
do you have left for yourself?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Some things you have to keep for
Absolutely.
yourself.
Of course you do,
Yeah.
most definitely.
100%.
Most definitely. And I think it's
Yeah.
not about, things being a secret
No.
or whatever like that, but it's
Nah.
just about you're entitled to some privacy. It doesn't mean things are a
100%.
secret.
100%.
That doesn't mean things are, it
Yeah.
doesn't mean things are a secret, but they don't have to be.
We didn't grow up in this
Shit.
generation. Like we didn't
Yeah.
grow up. Remember, we're the generation before and pre-internet.
Yeah,
Do you know
yeah.
what I mean? So we're before, so we understand that everything's not for everyone.
Yeah, yeah,
Do you
yeah.
know what I mean? And some
Yeah.
things, we grew up in a household where you was told, don't let nothing in this house
Yeah,
or go
yeah, yeah.
outside.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're used to that kind of, whereas this generation now, it's like everything has to be on
Yeah.
the internet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Breakups, all of that
Yeah,
stuff.
all
Yeah,
of it.
oh,
yeah.
God, yeah, absolutely. Imagine
And I
that.
find it very like I've been with someone before, and they was really on my. I don't even want to talk about them, but just briefly because of the point. But I was with someone before, and they was very like wanted it all on the net. Oh
And
my
that's not
God, it
even
was
you,
so
Neah, like, you're
cringe.
very
It
private.
weren't cool,
Yeah.
like it really wasn't. But ultimately, I've had to respect. I did because I didn't understand it at the time. You've got to understand I've been away for a long time, so hadn't had a relationship where, I was learning on the job in a sense as an adult woman of what's expected of me, what I thought.
Yeah.
But I was just had the wrong person
think
teaching me. But yeah, so what I learned was that I feel that I didn't understand at the time, but what I realised was there was a reason for that.
Yeah.
And that wasn't based on anything to do with what was with them. It was based on, insecurity, or wanting to prove something, or just wanting people. It's got fuck all to do with anyone, what you're doing and who you're with. If anything, I feel it puts.
I feel like you're protecting that person.
Yeah.
Because then you sit in interviews and
Especially from my life.
Yeah,
Jesus,
you
you're
put things
protecting
in
them.
more things are more in jeopardy when more people know about it. Then when I started doing certain things, they would get they would.
Yeah.
People would draw them out and say
Yeah.
bad stuff about
Yeah.
them and all that
Yeah.
that they really didn't like, that then made it worse.
Yeah.
But then I just thought, well, you fucking walk. Sorry, my language is terrible, honestly. But it's like, you know, you walked into it.
Yeah.
You know, you could be one character in a sense. A lot of people create characters.
Yep.
You know, or you have a brand that you're promoting for yourself.
Yep.
You are your brand, or you have one, or whatever. Why can't it be okay for it to just be that?
Yeah. Love that.
Did that letter
You
give
know?
you
Louder.
Did that letter give you closure?
It did.
It did.
It did. I'm closed now. Anton, I am in. Honestly, it's so. I'm
Shut.
actually.
You know what I mean?
Actually in this place now where I'm like, are we still talking about that? Like, I am so genuinely in the best place mentally. I am in the best place emotionally. I will say that when you cut somebody so important out of your life, please be prepared for how much it will affect you, even though you think it won't, because there were those dark days where I was sobbing and sobbing and sobbing because I thought that I was the worst person in the world for cutting out this woman that gave birth to me.
After all them times and how hard that was for you, going through all them sleepless nights and you were so upset and stuff, how did you get from feeling like that to cutting off your mother and being so upset to then the happiest you've ever been?
You know what? I've
Because that's a transition,
Yeah,
man.
100%.
And you've lost the one
Yeah.
she gave birth to you.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
I have not only lost my mum, I have not lost my mum. I've not only cut my mum out, but I have cut off a lot of more baggage as well.
Yeah.
And I now know.
Look how light he looks and
know.
how
I know.
free.
He's glowing. He's glowing.
I am.
He's
Glowing.
glowing. Yeah.
You're pregnant.
I'm pregnant. Put that out there as well. Let's put that there. I'm pregnant. I'm not going to deny or.
We want to invite to the baby shower.
I'm not
We want
gonna
to invite
lie.
to the baby
What?
shower. Come on, Ash.
But
Because you know that I mess things up if we don't go.
Yeah.
So I will say this.
we got the recording.
I now know who sits at my table,
Tell
and
him.
I also know who sits at a table in my room,
Yeah.
and that is very different as well.
Yeah.
I know that my people, Scott, Fee,
Shout out.
yeah,
Big them
Scott,
up,
Theo,
big them up, big them up.
you
Yeah.
know, these people, Mario, Roberto, and Ross as well. Look at me now naming people at my table, just in case they think they're not at the table.
Big table,
Did
man.
you know any
Yeah.
of your siblings?
But
What's your
they're
relationship?
in the room. They're in the
love
room.
that.
They're just
Oh,
not
we
at
love
my
that.
table.
I love
Because
that.
my table is the people that I can go, you'll never guess who I smacked today. I know that ain't getting out to no one. But like the other table,
Yeah.
go, did you hear so and so got smacked up today? It's a whole different thing. That's how you explain it to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now that I know that, I no longer have to feel like I have to prove a point to someone.
Yeah.
I have the best life. I'm so happy. I'm in a
Oh, we love
fantastic
that.
relationship. I have
that.
a great support system around me that I can continue to thrive with
Yeah.
and know that they want the best for me. So
Yeah.
all I will say to people is be prepared though to lose a hell of a lot more than you thought that you were going to lose.
Yeah.
Two-part question. So, minus birthdays.
Yeah.
What reminded you of mum when you was going through the transition, and what helped you to forget about mum going through your transition?
I think what reminded me was when I started to feel really low and I started to feel really down, and then I wanted to kind of reach out to her and be like, I hope you're not feeling this low, and I hope you're not feeling like as crap. And I wanted to. But then what got me through it was hearing that she was crying to people on the phone.
And it reminded
And
you
it
of the
reminded
character
me,
traits that led
yeah,
you to where
of
you
that,
was with her. Yeah.
absolutely. And it made me think that you will never get this, because
Yeah.
I should not have to pick up the phone to you to
Yeah.
call you, and I won't, and I will not.
No, you won't.
Absolutely not.
How much did your partners support?
Oh, everything. I'll tell you that now.
Has
Everything.
mum ever met partner?
Yeah. And she tries to play that off again. We tried to play that off
Right.
against each other. And he comes from like the best family as well. So for him, this was like, I was like,
I bet he
when
was
I met
like,
his-
what is
yeah.
this?
It must have been a shocker for him.
When I
innit?
met his family, they were like so sweet and so nice, and they like wanted to do everything for me, and they wanted to, and they were like really, really lovely. And then like mine are like fucking Mansons, and I was like, what the hell?
Do you know
Family.
why I say that? Because like example, like if Neah didn't know you,
Yeah.
and then I spoke bad about Neah before you've even met her, I'm an evil person.
Yeah.
Because now I've painted a picture in your mind that has you think this of this person, and they can't clear their name. But where your partner knows your mum, so he can co-sign. He can co-sign half what you're saying.
It's been a long time, so he's seen it from all angles. So he's made his own decision, and we've had family functions where she's been there, and he's always been really like polite to her, spoken to her, been really nice. He won't do it anymore. He will not speak to her because my stepdad at my brother's wedding didn't speak to me, and he said, I don't like what you've done to your mum, so I'm not going to speak to you. So my partner went, oh, you want to play that game? Yeah, my partner went, okay,
cool,
no problem.
Right,
he said, Ashley, just so you know, I won't speak to her now.
I think also when you've got a healthy partner, that obviously, you know, you've been together for quite a long time. When you've got a healthy partner, even if, you know, if they think that you're wrong or you're doing it, you know, supportive partner, that if they made you, if they think you've made a decision that's a bit rash or a little bit, you know, they will say, because you're close, you know, they will give you their opinion and say, listen, I hear that because I know you, of why you may be reacting like that. But I'll be honest, I think, you know, behind closed doors, I do think that's a little bit wild. Or look at it, I'll play devil's advocate, look at it like this and that, you know? So for him to be from such a kind of normal life and all that, and to see it from all different sides and not say that to you, you know that, you know, he's seen you from then to 100%. Now, and he knows that. And
you can't compete with pillow talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't compete with pillow talk.
You actually can't.
And that's when a person's, you know...
most kind of...
All pillows are not going to be like Neah Inspired.
Actually, shout out.
I know.
Shout out the cushion. Oh, God. Where can you...
There you go.
Just in case you didn't know. Anyway.
But just in case, because Neah has a big platform, you have a big platform, you know what I mean? We all have decent, thank you, Ash. We have decent followings. If mum was ever watching, what would your message, I know you sent the letter, but what would your message be to mum if mum was ever watching?
Very powerful question.
I went to look at the camera then. Who the hell look at me? My
look at the camera.
I know.
Hello.
My answer would be this. If you're watching, call us. No.
If you're watching, like, comment and subscribe.
No, Neah, she didn't. No, she didn't. No, she didn't. No, she didn't. She's covering herself. You better cover yourself now.
I think it would be. She probably will now. I think my only message would be, please, get to a place as good as I'm at. And that's all I wish for you. And that's all I hope for you.
Ash, I love that one.
Yeah. Find her peace, find her healing in the ways that's, you know, obviously made her the way she is. Because I think this is something that we can miss, but like justify a lot. But it's not an excuse, but it is a reason in a way of why people, whether they be parents or people in general, not everyone was born toxic. Yeah. No one was born toxic, you know?
Do you know what I always say, yeah? We're born looking like our parents, but we're going to die looking like our life choices.
Yeah.
Ash is in a good space.
Yeah. Doesn't mean I'm going to die.
No. We're wishing more life on you. We're wishing more life on you. That was sick.
Oh, good.
That was sick. Yeah. Right, it's been such a great episode today. Honestly, guys. Anton.
Come on.
My guy,
always.
I
got you for life, Neah. Come on. When you said
Likewise.
Ash, I said I'll pull it up.
I'm here. Always a pleasure, never
I said I'll pull it up, 100%.
I really appreciate it. Ash, you know, and we've shared some of our, you know, really personal experiences with you on the Passing the Crown platform.
100%.
And yeah, so I've loved it. You know, I'm so grateful for the fact that you've been able to do the same with us. I thought it was only right.
And I appreciate it.
Get us all back together, the gang's back together.
Yeah, squad goals, you know?
Yeah.
And just to be able to, you know, hear a bit more, because you've been so, when Anton done, sorry, Cooper, and done.
That's all right, Neah, call me Anton,
done, you know, when you've done your episode with him and so have I, we're going to some personal stuff. So,
100%.
you know, it's nice to, and you've been able to relate on a lot of that, you know, on some certain points. Yeah. So relatable that we could grasp, but there's some stuff here that, you know, we could talk about. Want to talk about with you, get to know you a bit more. So, really...
And can I just have a huge shout out to Matthew Fuller, my therapist, trauma, anxiety coach.
Big up
Matthew Fuller. Yeah, I will tag him in this.
The discount code is...
honestly, reach out to him. But absolutely got me through hell and back. So
yeah, big up Matt. Big up Matthew.
Big up Matt. Big up Matt.
I've gave him a nickname like I know him. Big up Matt.
I know. We've got Matt.
But on that note, speaking of math, whoever counted us out is terrible at maths.
Yes.
Yeah.
Louder.
Yeah. Whoever counted us out is terrible at maths.
But yeah, it's been absolutely great. So
thank you so much.
Thank you for watching. So if you don't mind, share and give us a comment on what you think about our episode today.
Come on.
And also, you know,
A little bit deeper.
Yeah. Do you know anyone that's got any kind of toxic relationships, whether some may be hard to accept or hard to kind of you know, act on based on, you know, how
Gets
close the
better.
relationship may be and you know, the pressures and what's okay or not in society as in terms of who you can cut off and stuff like that. But yeah, so drop that in the comments, and it's been absolute vibe. So big shout out to
Anton, Creeper Crisis.
your at.
Oh, just Creeper Crisis on everything as my handle.
You heard.
Yeah. And Ashley, and me as well. Ash_Peds on Instagram, but please don't try and message me unless it's a nude. Chance of me if I'm
Oh my gosh. And Neah Inspired. Oh,
Yes, and me, Neah Inspired. So like, subscribe, comment, and remember to inspire others, you've got to inspire yourself first. So thank you for watching, and see you next week.
Now I'm living my best life.